Today I really want to talk about 5 things that we need. So number 1, to be able to give individual patient feedback and for it to be taken seriously. Last year I gave a speech on Healthwatch and the CCGs. It's on youtube.com, I support ME research. There is still no information, no improvement or change, no transparency, no accountability or regulation, and probably still secret meetings with the same chosen representatives, both locally and nationally. A culture that is happening at every level of the NHS, particularly in Greater Manchester. It's absolutely disgusting. This culture and covering up complaints, removing whistleblowers instead, is destroying not only patient lives, but also staff morale. Cherry picking. The NHS is actually the worst industry for staff bullying, so it's not just us patients that are going through it, it's staff as well. And it's got nothing to do with money, it's to do with culture. Number 2, the NICE guidelines to be updated to match the World Health Organization 1969. It's now 2019. There is a NICE review at the moment, but as always, there are many reported problems, biases and corruptions within the system. Going back to Healthwatch, I am told regularly by people who have been closely involved from the start with the NICE review, NICE guidelines review, that this includes Healthwatch not actively helping or using important information from 2015 onwards, according to what they're telling me. Healthwatch. What a waste of public money during this time of austerity and a social care and NHS crisis. We might not have needed these protests for the past few years or the recent parliamentary debates. I am of course extremely grateful to Carol Monaghan and other MPs for these debates and for their support. Carol Monaghan speaking tomorrow in Glasgow. A quote to finish off Healthwatch Trafford, a quote from them in a complaints response. Healthwatch Trafford is a completely independent organisation and not part of the NHS. It is not therefore bound by the NHS Constitution. So, I would like to say to Sir Robert Francis, you are now the chair of Healthwatch England. You desperately need to change the way Healthwatch and CCGs engage, follow up and are regulated. Number 3, testing for other undiagnosed conditions. Because patients and physical symptoms are not taken seriously, people are not being tested properly for other conditions, with some patients years or decades later finding they didn't even have ME, they had another treatable condition. 25% of patients are house or bed bound. ME is also the biggest cause of long-term absence in schools and growing. Children. We are talking simple blood tests. Why are the main national charities not fighting for this, for proper exclusion testing? Separate to the ME community, national charities like Thyroid UK, Celiac UK, Matt Dawson, rugby player Lyme's disease, and many, many other conditions are campaigning for more accurate and more frequent testing due to mass underdiagnosis. To give you an example, Esther Ranson set up a national ME charity because her daughter had ME, but then found out 14 years later she didn't, she had celiac disease. Number 4, biomedical research. I am of course not saying that all of our ME patients have other conditions and they don't have ME. It might only be a few. This is why we need biomedical research as well, instead of biased scientifically This is why we need biomedical research as well, instead of biased, scientifically, I don't know why I wrote that word, flawed research, psychological research like the PACE trial and similar studies, including studies of children. Why? Number 5, charity complaints. Charity complaints should be taken seriously if there is misleading, inconsistent or wrong information, especially if this has been happening for decades. Also, if they're speaking to NHS decision makers and other government departments on behalf of patients behind the scenes with lack of public information and lack of minutes. inappropriate behaviour, self-promotion, a bad or no complaint system, and of course conflicts of interest such as money. This is made even worse when earning salaries of close to £100,000 each or less. We should not be afraid as patients to talk about national charities. Thank you.